My name's Josh with Street Trucks Magazine. In this video, we'll be installing the cooling system in our 67 C10 build, Project Last Chance. Before we get started today, if you have any questions on today's install, drop a comment below and we'll get back with you as soon as possible. I also want to give a huge shout out to George at Leadfoot Racing, who partnered up with us on this build. George, we appreciate your support at Street Trucks Magazine, and I want to personally say thank you for helping me get this truck on the road. So when we were talking with George about what this truck needed, he suggests we go with the Champion Radiator 67 to 72 C10 direct fit LS swap radiator. So not only is this radiator going to bolt right up in the stock location, but it's also going to have the upper and lower radiator ports on the passenger side. When doing an LS swap on these trucks, you usually have to run a radiator hose all the way over to the other side of the engine bay because that's where the stock upper radiator hose inlet is. So this radiator is going to really help clean up the look in our engine bay. He also suggested that we go with their 14-inch Spal fans and fan shroud that are going to really help pull the air through this radiator to keep our LS1 nice and cool. We have our Billet upper and lower radiator hose inlets. Now these are going to screw into the radiator, so if you don't have an 1.25 inch, 1.5 inch setup like I do, you can select whatever size inlets you want to fit your application. Now to wrap up the install, we have their Champion Radiator's overflow tank. We have an inline filter that's going to help take out any of the particulates or contaminants that are in our system. And we also have this sacrificial zinc anode to help out with electrolysis. Now, these parts are all available at championradiators.com, and I highly suggest you reach out to George to talk to him about the best setup for your build. All right, we're running into some fitment issues. Let me show you what we got going on right now.
So first off, this intake seems like it's way too high. You know, if your hood latch is going to be right here, you know, your hood's going to come up. That's going to be really close to hitting the hood. It's hard to say without having everything assembled, but that to me looks like it's going to be a little bit too high. Another thing is our front runner is hitting the fans. Now I haven't had this issue before. I've had plenty of clearance between the fans and the front runner, and this front runner actually is sucked really far and close to that block, so there should be space right there. So what I'm thinking is going on is we have these Performance Online motor mounts. So this one has the plate that bolts to the block, and then it has the motor mount that bolts to the plate, and then the motor mount bolts to the actual motor mount bracket. So you see here that this has an arch, and I think the arch is keeping the motor up high. The Hooker Blackheart series, that there's no arch there, it just goes straight down. So that's going to set the motor down a little bit. Also, the Hooker Blackhearts, there's 4 mounting holes right here that you would bolt your engine mount to, your motor mount. So the Hooker Blackheart, it has a clamshell that bolts right here. So this is going to scoot the engine back another 2 inches. So basically this bolt, or these 2 bolts would center over this motor mount. So I'm thinking that we're going to have to get these motor mounts on order, and I think it's going to take care of our fitment issues.
This Champion radiator is literally plug and play. Once you get the fasteners to mount the fan to the shroud and the shroud to the radiator, it drops right into the stock mounting location. I'm very happy with the way this looks, and I think this is going to be a great addition to our build. Now, we've gotten about as far as we can. We're going to order some Hooker Blackheart series engine mounts, and I think that's going to drop our engine down a little bit and push it back so we get enough clearance from the back of the cooling fans to the front runner. Well, if you guys have any questions on this install, please drop a comment below and we'll get back with you as soon as possible. If you have any video suggestions or if you want to get in touch with me, you can message me on Facebook or Instagram. But that's going to do it for this video. We'll see you in the next one.